Hey, what's up? This is 8-Bit Eric. Today we're going to review Citizens of Earth on the Wii U. Citizens of Earth is published by Atlas, and it's an RPG game that has you taking on the role of Vice President of the world. Yes, Vice President of the world. I guess this is a post-Illuminati takeover of the whole planet Earth, so we're fucked. The Vice President of the world is everything you could think of your quintessential douchebag politician. He's a classic bureaucrat. Charming, charismatic, but practically useless. Just like Hillary Clinton. Oh, did I say that out loud? After recently winning the vice presidency, he returns to his home back in town for some vacay, but he soon discovers that there's some very strange stuff happening around town. Feeling a sense of responsibility, as an elected official, he decides to do something about it. Now we know for sure that this isn't based on true stories. However, here's the catch. You don't actually want to get your hands dirty. You go about using your charisma to recruit all sorts of townsfolk to help you in your fight. Alright, so maybe it is based on real life. Now, what's really, I guess, silly and slapstick about this game is that unlike, your typical RPG game, the classes are not thieves, warriors, mages, gnomes. It's more like, your baker, your teacher, your, I guess, gym buff dude, your freaking coffee barista from Starbucks. Yes, it's a little bit of a more type of, I guess, funny approach to what an RPG game is like. And I guess the most obvious comparison of any game that you could compare it to is EarthBound, which we know just by judging by the game's graphics and the way that it looks and the way that it plays, it's totally inspired by. I wouldn't call it a direct ripoff. It's more like a, I guess, love letter to a lot of people's favorite RPG game of all time. And this is where much of Citizens of Earth's charm lies, and the fact that it's just a giant spoof on EarthBound. Everything from the world design, to the battle animation, to the fact that you could dumpster dive for items. Is OK Chief in this game? I'm gonna shoot straight with you right here. I'm not gonna go sideways and avoid and beat around the bush, I'm 8-bit fucking Eric. I gotta be honest with you guys. And when I first saw this game, I was like, holy shit, this game has all of the potential in the world to be a huge RPG. The next big classic, bigger than EarthBound, if it did it right. However, it failed to miss the mark. As soon as I started playing with it, that's what he said, I just wasn't impressed anymore. This does leave a little nice nostalgic feel for RPG fans that have been longing for something that plays like a tribute to the days past on systems. And to be honest, Citizens of Earth does emulate this feel very well. However, I feel there's several drawbacks because of the style of gameplay. Now, the one thing that I've noticed a lot in Citizens of Earth is glitches. There's so many glitches in this game. I don't even know where to begin. There's been times while I'm playing, walking on the field, just exploring, where I end up getting blocked by some kind of invisible wall or a small bush or a tree, and I just don't, can't get free. I've had so many game-ending glitches where I've had to actually reset the game and start, back where I last saved because I was fucked. It's very inconvenient since this game feels like it has way too many loading times, which comes to my next negative. I can understand games have a lot of loading times, but in Citizens of Earth, it seems like every 5 seconds you're coming to a loading screen. Whether you're going to a different area of the map, whether you're entering a building, whether you're beginning a fight, whether you're leaving a fight, whether you're getting some kind of cutscene where people are talking, there's just loading screens up the ass, and after a while it just becomes unbearable and totally sucks the fun out of this game. In regards to the story, I find the game's plot a little bit lackluster. When I first got this game, I was hoping for a fun-filled journey that fit the cartoony feel of the game. However, I was a bit disappointed. There's a great amount of voice acting in this game during the dialogue, which is a nice feature. However, the storyline leaves little to be desired. I'm not going to give away any spoilers because honestly, I found myself skipping through the story as much as possible. Sadly, yeah, I had no interest in listening to anything that anybody had to say. It didn't catch my attention. Now, the most important thing about RPG games is the battle system. And in Citizens of Earth, it's your typical RPG battle system. There's blue energy balls below each character that are used for special attacks. You control 3 characters at a time, and the style of battles are 2D just like in EarthBound with very little animation. So they tend to become a little too bland to look at after a few minutes. I prefer the side view 2D or 3D battles seen in other RPGs with various animations for attacks. I will say, however, the type of attacks are hilarious. Some of the descriptions add a great sense of cheesy humor to the game that I can't help but love despite the flaws. These battles vary from difficulty, however, there came a part in the game where my lower level characters were often unable to fight for me because they were either too weak or they just couldn't fight, which leaves my next problem. There's a ton of characters in the game which at first is initially pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Now you recruit them through different means such as talking to them or performing some kind of side fetch quest, which is understandable in an RPG. Each character has a variety of abilities that are designed to the type of character they are, however they're not all equal. Some characters level up easier than others because of their abilities to begin with, some can only heal, and some are just utterly useless. It's hard to level them all up equally because you'll find yourself usually using your most powerful fighters. I'm gonna be honest in here. Now, when you're grinding, which is a common element of RPGs, it gets a little bit tedious, and in this game, grinding was just not fun in my opinion. Luckily, the battles in this game are only activated when you touch an enemy, just like in EarthBound, so you can avoid them pretty easy. However, I think if an RPG causes you to avoid battles, then it's a real serious problem. The game layout does provide a map, however, I find it completely hard to understand and read. It looks extremely tiny on my TV, and I'm either blind as a bat or just plain stupid. Sure, that's supposed to give you a sense of exploration, but when you're walking around battling random enemies, becoming more lost than a son of a bitch, it really sucks the fun out of the game. So Citizens of Earth by Atlas was a game that, I guess, had its potential for something great. However, I feel it missed the mark. Now, I'm not saying it's a horrible game. I probably would rate this maybe a 7 out of 10. The thought and the idea and the concept was there. They tried, but I feel that they were trying to be EarthBound without trying to make something new about it. It's like, you know, I guess coming out with Pepsi and then Pepsi free, you know. Yeah, you can pay tribute to the classic, but make yourself different. Do something innovative. Bring something new to the table. Just don't use the tried and true formula. Just because it was successful in 1993, 94, 95 on the Super Nintendo does not mean that it's going to translate well over into the current gen of systems. Citizens of Earth, it's worth a look, but I honestly don't think it's worth a recommendation unless you're really itching for that EarthBound feel. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching this review. Peace out.